Welcome to JoyNews Today. In today's headlines, Ghana Airports Company suspends the $20 maintenance charge on all round trips. We bring you more details on the statement.
What authority does the Ghana Airport Company have to impose fees and charges?
As internet, data and voice services continue to raise national security concerns, the Telecommunications Chamber say all hands are on deck to fix the problem. More as technology analyst urges for the development of local infrastructure backbone to curtail future effects of the situation.
The things are hosted locally on better private networks and data. It becomes easier for us to still, engage in our services.
JoyNews investigations reveal how one of the senior high school heads resorted to treating Weevil infested bags of maize supplied by Free SHS Secretariat to enable the school to feed their students.
This is maize infested. It was highly infested.
We have details and more within the hour. Please stay with me. My name is Sweetie Abochi. In our first story, internet and data blackout in recent days has seen the mobilization of the telecom operators in the country in full gear as a matter of urgency to restore the service that is biting hard at businesses and the public. Outages on multiple submarine optic fiber cables incident has crippled the ability of the telcos to provide the public with reliable internet, data and voice services. The statement issued by the National Communications Authority says they regrettably informed the general public that the multiple undersea cable disruptions has affected mobile and fixed data services nationwide. The disruptions affecting multiple undersea cables is responsible for carrying international traffic, which has occurred in Senegal and Cote d'Ivoire, and with some disruptions in Portugal. This has led to a significant degradation of data services across the country. It is important to note that the mobile network operators have redundancies on other cables and are working around the clock to restore full services. In addition, the MNOs have informed affected customers of the disruptions via other channels. The authority is saying that they are monitoring the situation and will update the public accordingly. Now, the Executive Director of the Telecoms Chamber, Dr. Ken Asamoah, says what has happened is a rare occurrence and all is being done to find solution to the problem. He spoke to my colleague, Evans Mensah.
My life as an engineer, I've not seen that many where you have really that many cables impacted at the same time. But in the current days, we are beginning to see some of this, but these numbers at the same time is the challenge, So then that's why the redundancy of your redundancy, your main is gone, your redundancy is gone. The redundancy of that redundancy also seems to have been hit. And that is what has put us in this precarious position. And so it will be interesting by the time we are able to do the root cause analysis to be able to find out what really caused all of these things happening around the same time.
So what's happening now to fix it? We have divers now in subsea trying to look at this?
Well, the thing about these things is that there's work that constantly is going on through all of that, So depending on the nature of what is first is you're trying to, I'm sure root cause analysis are being done. Then you also have the where you found out what the challenges are, trying to fix them. Try to identify where the cuts are and be able to, because for some of the cables, there are cuts that have happened. So trying to fix those cuts. Some of them power challenges that have happened on some of the modules. So you're trying to then really go under the sea and be able to fix all of that. So all of that is happening insofar as restoring these undersea cables are concerned. Because of the critical nature of this is something that work is going on around the clock to restore as quickly as possible. So I'm pretty sure as we go along, we're going to be seeing improvement in the services for some time till we'll be able to get to the optimum point.
And I'm pretty sure that you'll be updating us along the way because people really need this very urgently.
A deputy ranking member of the Communications Committee of Parliament said the incident raises a national security concern.
The major national security issue, not just national security, but economic as well. The fact that we have all the cable, or literally all the cable landings coming into Ghana, facing one compromise or the other. I think with very limited service on Glo 1, it creates a real challenge because from the seat of presidency to your legislature to the judiciary and all your military and intelligence nerve centers, everybody seems to be in the dark. So huge national security issues. I mean, I would expect that security installations would want to do a post-case analysis of even any potential compromises to their systems while this blackout has happened. With very limited access to internet, I've tried to see if I could find any evidence of a similar time where we had multiple compromises at the same time on different platforms, because here you have the MTN platform WAX, which is literally taking out. You have Main 1 reporting challenges as well. ACE and SAT3 all seem to also have challenges. So I can't remember a time where we had multiple failures at the same time.
In fact, you're right. I mean, Engineer Chigbe says in his experience as an engineer, he's never seen anything like this before. He said this is highly unusual.
I mean, and so this would require a proper post-mortem.
Now, take a listen to some members of the public frustrated by this development.
I'm not able to work on my phone. I've not been able to work on my phone. Earlier on, I thought I even had it. This morning, when I bought data, mobile data, so I even thought I had issues with my phone. I realized that it was a network problem. I've worked from home. Like, I've not been able to do anything at all.
Interesting. Which means that today you're not clearing.
I'm not working.
I woke up this morning just to check on my phone and then to do other businesses online. And then I realized that anytime you want to download something, it's not coming at all. So I contacted a few friends, and then they are telling me that the same story. We are all stranded.
So how has that impacted what you do on a daily basis?
Oh, in fact, a lot. Because I work in a health center. Most of our documents, we process them, we send them through online and the rest. So the whole day we couldn't do much.
Yeah, today I've asked my agent in Kumasi to buy some items for me. But unfortunately, I need items before I confirm it. But when I asked her to snap a picture and send it to me via WhatsApp, she couldn't download it. So as I say to you, I don't know. She bought the items all right, but I don't know whether the items are the right items she bought for me. Yeah, she has given it to a car. I'm just waiting before I have to see it before I can confirm whether the items are the right items. And it's very, very bad.
Meanwhile, Maximus Ametogo, technology analyst, says the unfortunate experience should lead the nation to develop a local infrastructure backbone to serve as a buffer in the future.
Like I said, so technology, the physical infrastructure has to be, resilient. It must have redundancies for technology, for internet to work. And all these redundancies, the main lines, and different ones have been affected. So this gives us at least an idea to be able to develop a local, infrastructure backbone so that interactions within Ghana in terms of the banking and all that can be, a lot of people host their content outside. So if cuts happen on this scale, then it means that they cannot access those contents But if the things are hosted locally on virtual private networks and other, it becomes easier for us to still, engage in our services without, going outside to access content before coming back on the fiber cable.
Ghana Airports Company suspends all discussions concerning a charge of $20 on a round-trip airline ticket even before Sector Minister Kweku Ofori-Esiama. Now, the Ghana Airports Company says it has put on hold all discussions concerning that charge of $20 on round-trip airline tickets. The company came under intense public backlash after imposing the charges without parliamentary approval. Already, the legislative body has summoned management of the company to answer questions on why it is introducing new charge supposedly to take care of the carousel maintenance. Let's hear Haruna Idrisu in Parliament.
The gap of urgent public importance because what authority does the Ghana Airport Company have to impose fees and charges? And is these charges consistent with the Fees and Charges Act approved by the Parliament of Ghana? So, Mr. Speaker, I've seen a letter Ghana Airports Company signed Yvonne Nana Afriye Opare, Mrs. Managing Director. And, Mr. Speaker, I read it for a record. Further to discussions with the executives of Airport Operations Committee, AOC, regarding our baggage belt overhauling and maintenance issue, the Board of Directors of Ghana Airports Company, in consultation with Ministry of Transport, institutes maintenance charges of $20 on all-round airline trips and $12. Mr. Speaker, that will be cost to Ghanaian travelers from abroad to Ghana. Yeah, $20 on all-round air trips and $10 to be charged one way. And this fee will be effective May 1st, 2024. Mr. Speaker, I think that the Minister for Transport will have to be hauled by you to this House to explain the authority of the Ghana Airports Company and to explain to Ghanaians where he drives the authority and mandate from and whether this is consistent with our Fees and Charges Act. We owe it to Ghanaians abroad and within, those of you who travel, that you should never be taken unaware on side charges. Mr. Speaker.
Let's stay on this issue for a while. My colleague Samuel Mbura from the Joy Newsroom joins me. Samuel, we understand there's a statement from management. What's the details of that statement?
Exactly, sweetie. After the public backlash and the concerns from Parliament, the management of the Ghana Airports Company Limited has decided to put on hold this $20 charge on all-round trip airline tickets. It is citing ongoing deliberations with the Online Operators Committee and the Board of Airline Representatives in Ghana, in consultation with the International Air Transport Association, and further meetings have also been scheduled in respect to the matter. But the Ghana Airport Company Limited says that in the future, if and when a decision is reached, the International Air Transport Association will be the one to communicate same to all stakeholders. The general public is therefore advised to take note. So for now, the charge on all-round trip air tickets has been suspended, but deliberations are ongoing, and in future, they'll definitely communicate the recommendations from that meeting. These deliberations between which parties? So the parties, it involves the Ghana Airports Company Limited, right. The Association of the International Air Transport Association, and also the representatives or the board airline representatives in Ghana are those who are holding this particular meeting in consultation with the Ghana Airport Company Limited, as stipulated in the statement. All right. Thank you, Mbura, for bringing us those details. Now, moving on, Majority Leader Alexander Penyumakin is pushing strongly for the setting up of an ad hoc committee to relook at the conditions of service for MPs and former MPs. Members have in the past few weeks been lamenting their conditions of service, which they describe as poor and that which leaves them in abject poverty after they leave the House. Alexander Penyumakin says MPs must demand what is their right. But Second Deputy Speaker Andrea Moakwesiama ruled that a special committee will not be necessary now because he has referred a similar matter to the House Committee Parliamentary Affairs correspondent Kweku Asante joins us with details.
Kweku, thanks for joining us. Now, what is the basis of this demand from the MPs?
Well, over the past few weeks, there have been a number of statements that have been made on the floor on the plight of former MPs who have all passed on and the situation they faced before they ultimately met their death. And so members of parliament have been raising concerns about what they say is their poor conditions of service. In fact, last week, the Honorable Muntaka spoke about the need for members of parliament to come together devoid of partisanship, be able to discuss the specifics of their conditions of service. In fact, their claim is that there are so many MPs who serve the state for 20 years, 25 years, and then they leave parliament and they are worse off and are not able to take care of themselves and their healthcare needs. And so the demand is that this special committee will be able to make some consequential demands on the state who becomes members of parliament. But like you've rightly put it, the Deputy Speaker who presents over the House said this matter is before the appropriate committee, which is the House committee, and they will look at it and then report back to the House. And then when there is the need to institute a special committee, then that will be done. Right. So what else is the House considering today? Well, the matter of the internet blackout has featured quite extensively. Some of the food is out black, while people not so, and members of the parliament from the minority side in particular have been demanding that Communications Minister comes to the floor to brief MPs on the internet blackout and what exactly he's doing to safeguard what is clearly a national security architecture. The majority leader has assured the House that on Monday, Communication Minister Esme will be in Parliament to answer questions, and then we'll use that opportunity to deliver a statement on this internet blackout and what government is doing on that. Well, thank you so much, Kweku Asante, who's our Parliamentary Affairs correspondent. Now, in other stories, JoyNews investigations have revealed how one of the senior high schools heads resorted to treating weevil-infested bags of maize supplied by the Free SHS Secretariat with neem leaves to enable the school to feed their students. In our latest Hotline documentary, Empty Plates, the Free SHS Promise, JoyNews' K.I.A visited some senior high schools and reports on the grim reality of the quantity of food served to students.
To the online platform I had infiltrated, I discovered numerous complaints from school heads about weevil-infested maize bags supplied, despite assurances from the Free SHS coordinator that only a few bags were affected. My observations revealed several bags of maize being treated with neem tree leaves to ward off the pests. Given the critical food shortages, some school heads have conveyed to me their inability to discuss the contaminated maize as there's scarcely enough to feed the students.
If you look at here, I want you to take, I want you to take a view. This is maize infested. It was highly infested. So someone advised us that we can use the neem tree. So yesterday, we put it outside. The boys put it outside. And these were given to be fed to the children? Yes, free SHS. And so, they are there not. So I'm experimenting. So yesterday we spread it on the ground. We put the neem tree upon it. And we are seeing some reduction, and that's what. But is this the work of headmasters?
That's Empty Plates, the Free SHS Promise, and it will be airing on Monday, March 18th on Joy FM Super Morning Show at 8:30 a.m. and on Joy News Channel at 8:30 p.m. Do watch out for that interesting documentary. Moving on, producers and K.I.A enthusiasts in Teshi and Osu challenged Minister for Food and Agriculture, Brian Champong's assertion that K.I.A prices are decreasing due to government's efforts under the Planting for Food and Jobs program. Despite being a long-standing affordable staple, recent maize price fluctuations have forced producers to reconsider pricing, resulting in higher costs for consumers. While the government aims to stabilize prices through increased food production, local producers maintain that K.I.A prices remain high, contradicting the minister's claim. My colleague Michael Ashali has the rest of the story.
Okay, there's a lot of maize out there, indeed maize in the system, and that is why price of maize is not going up. And indeed, for the first time, you see that the price of kinky, which never happens, is actually going down. We are on the ground.
That is the Minister for Food and Agriculture, Brian Echampon. He highlighted 2 key points. First, a decrease in the price of a bag of maize, and secondly, a reduction in the price of a ball of kinky.
We are now in Teshi to assess the truth in that particular statement.
We start from the kinky factory run by twins, Akwele and Akwoko Akita. Today, Akwoko Akita is in charge of the kinky business. Without hesitation, she walks me through the various sizes of kinky available along with their corresponding price tags.
Come here, in your hall.
4.
Okay.
3 cities, 4 cities.
Okay. So she tells me she sells the kinky 3 cities and 4. So if I'm 3 cities no, okay, 4 cities no. Be an 3 cities. 3 cities no, you'll be. So this is 3 cities. Okay. What about 4 cities? 1, 2. I will do the fiscal comparison between the two. So she's now getting us the 4 cities one. Interesting. Well, from what it looks like, they're both almost the same. Wait, Ona.
Eko chief eko. So I feel like I could ask no coffee.
Well, with the naked eye, it appears that both looks almost the same. But she just told me that the weight is different.
In the kitchen, Akwele Akita, in the company of other family members, busily rolls the condo into balls. She disputes the minister's claim that the price of a bag of maize is down.
Price high. Ablenya bashi to mo first school ka bele ba bashi ke kokuluku ba new one e ba price bashi wo bene ba she hie ke ya keke tinwe fi chi bia new one ke ba e ba shi kra ka ke 6 million wo bene ba she hie ke wana wo ya bele 12 million 10 million ke se
akola ka shi afi nete menye nye ho ne hio abele kutoku
ono me wa abele wo hele 65 shibia ne wo here abele 8 ni di 800.
Still in Teshi, we visited Patience Aku Adote. She told JoyNews the price of maize and the prevailing economic conditions forced her to stop selling a ball of kenke for 2 cedis.
Last year ne abele emiwa she was mommy na kan me wo come ball 2 cedi she no na ka bele jala wa bon le 3 ke 4 ball me he wo me ko ga ba ne ga ba ka le aka ball 2 e olololo she ko wie enyo e yo na kan.
Okay, so she tells me that because of the increment in the price of the bag of maize, they've had to do an important exercise to investigate whether the people are going to accept the new prices that have been forced to sell their kenke at. Well, they started from 2 cities, which was a year ago, managed to get to 3 cities.
From Teshi, we moved to Osu. Just maybe, the price of kenke had fallen there.
Let's put that to a test. We're currently on Osu. We find out from this woman how much she's selling a ball of kenke now. Come. 3 cities. 2 cities no bemi. Feminine. What? Nibi Jalawa. Ni manage. Wow. What Nipponian Bomodiona get 3 cities. So they tell me that I won't get a ball of kenke for 2 cedis.
The same ball of kenke that is sold for 2 cedis just a year ago is now being sold for 3 cedis. And that's even the cheapest you find in the area. Esther Mate runs this kenke house.
Yeah, I fear no who me, no man come in your hole.
Oh, no me 2 cedis to talk about 3 cedis.
Mini.
Oh, Benny Bijilewa.
Maybe to my mini.
Oh, Naka Abele, Danny TNT Lehun. Obainu, Wape workers, Noba calculated name OGM.
For kenke lovers, the price change won't deter them from purchasing. However, they feel the strain of paying an extra cedi for the same ball compared to before.
The new ball comes in about 50 pesos. First, 30 pesos, and about 50. Akaba 50 150 pesos. Akaba 2 cedi. First we were 2 cedi in no. She need be 10 when you feel 3 cedi.
Wait, how much kinky did you buy?
4 cedis.
4 cedis. Is it big enough?
I'll manage.
I mean, how long have you been eating kinky?
Oh, quite long.
A year ago, 3 cedis was just enough for you.
Yeah.
But now it doesn't appear that 3 cedis.
No, not at all.
But now your 4 cedis is fine for you?
Not really fine, but I'll manage.
But have you bought kinky outside of Teshi before?
Yeah.
How much? Do they sell at 4 cedis too?
Yeah, others even sell it at 5 cedis.
5 cedis?
Yeah.
Kinky prices seem to be more affordable in Teshi and Osu compared to other communities where it is selling for 5 cedis per ball. However, overall, the price of kinky remains high, and producers don't plan to reduce it anytime soon, as long as economic conditions stay the same.
Thank you. So, if you don't have 11 Ghana cedis at least, you're not eating the simplest or cheapest of kinky and fish. For Joy News, Michael Ashale.
That's an interesting report by Michael Ashale there, and how Ghanaians are managing with one bowl of kinky. But let's move on. The Ghana National Association of Private Schools has pledged to support any political party that shows the will to address pertinent challenges confronting private school operations and management. The association laments exorbitant regulatory charges, property rates, and hikes in the cost of doing business. Members have indicated their keen interest in seeking redress from any political party that will show concern. Here's a report by Clinton Yeboah.
Private schools in the K.I.A. South District of Ashanti Region alone. These schools complement government's efforts to expand access to education for all school-going population. The schools, however, feel sidelined in the rollout of some government's policies in the education sector. Chairman of the Ghana National Association of Private Schools in the district, Nicholas Bambuni, says members are being suffocated with exorbitant charges for providing services which in some cases ought to be free. He is calling on authorities to abolish nuisance tax, scrap the 30% priority placement system, and reveal operational charges from the National Schools Inspectorate and the National Teaching Council.
They should scrap that 30% out of it. They should make sure that this BEC, with the registration last year 170 cities, this year, do you know how much they are collecting? 214 Ghana cities. NTC is taking 250 Ghana cities from our teachers in order to register them, because they say if they don't register them, they will not allow them to teach. 250 Ghana cedis. Where are they going to get this money? NASIA is taking 800 Ghana cedis from our students, from the schools. 800 Ghana cedis every year. 800 Ghana cedis. You go to a school, we have about, maybe they have about 200 students. 200 students. He's going to pay the teachers from it. He's going to pay SNIT from it. You are telling them to pay 800 Ghana cedis. How are they going to get the money? So what happens is, when the placement comes, they will give the allocation for private schools 30% or for government schools. And ours will now be shared with 70% with the government schools again. So at the end, our schools, our students don't get the A schools.
Nicholas Bambuni spoke at the Ghana National Association of Private Schools Week celebration. He indicated the association's readiness to support any political party that captures the concerns in its 2024 manifesto.
And that is why we are saying this year, we as private schools are going to play politics. This year, we are ready to play politics. And people should not joke or underestimate our numbers, because if you look at our numbers as we speak, even the tertiary, the learner population, we have about 1.5 million. Even the students too, we have over almost 200,000. So we are not here to play. This year, election year, my brother, private schools, we are going to play politics.
The Education Director of K.I.A. South, David Akomia, highlighted the positive roles of private schools in the district. While calling for external support, he assures the association of a dialogue to look into the concerns raised.
Since assuming office in 2022, there has been a total collaboration with the private schools. The fact being that they are all helping to educate the Ghanaian child just every year. So I will plead with the authorities that maybe if it cannot be a wholesale, but they can look at situational issues in terms of district-wise. Because if you come to Fijakwa, like I'm saying, we have over 300 of them, about 1,000 people registering for BEC. But you go to a different district, there might be maybe 200 or 300 or so people. So I would suggest that if they can look at it, then look at it on basis of the number of schools in each region, but in each district, so that something can be done about it.
Reporting for Joy News, Clinton Yebo.
On this note, let's take a break. When we return, there's business news. Stay with us. Welcome back. Let's get into some business stories. Economist Professor Lord Mensah has cautioned government not to rush to the international market to borrow once it reaches a deal with external creditors and Eurobond holders. According to him, although Ghana may get good ratings, that shouldn't push the country to go to the international market to borrow.
We may get, a good credit rating, but then that shouldn't push us to rush to the international market. Like I was saying, if you look at the current state of our economy, because government has not started a full service of its debt, whatever we are recording in terms of exchange rate, that feeds into inflation, I would say, kind of temporal, numbers. Until we get to a full-fledged, debt service, that's when we'll get to know that, our exchange rate is at a particular level or not, and how it fits into inflation. So we may get, credit rating improved, but I would say it shouldn't push us to get to the international market. We need to do a lot of work, at home before we start looking at, the international market.
With the long queues at various visa application centers across the country, businesses have been entreated to be wary of fraudsters. According to the head of Sub-Saharan Africa for VFS Global, local businesses should push for more information and not fall prey to the activities of scammers. VFS Global is the world's largest visa outsourcing and technology services specialist for government and diplomatic missions worldwide. Mr. Viswantam spoke to Joy Business at a media engagement.
According to VFS Global, many individuals and businesses have been fascinated by advanced fee fraud scams that originate from several countries in Africa. Hari Prasad said the company will transform its business model with secure and efficient processes.
Over the years, we've seen that customers want more convenience when they want to apply for a visa. So instead of preparing everything and coming into a visa application center, they would want convenience at their footstep. That is what we are trying to achieve as well. So if any group that wants, if there are 15 or 20 people, instead of they booking an appointment, they can make a request to us. We then take an approval from the embassy. We go to the location of their choice and replicate the same visa application center work in their location. So this gives convenience to the applicants. They don't have to take off. Once an appointment is booked on one applicant's name, it cannot be modified. So nobody can sell it. So if it is in your name, only you can reschedule it. You can reschedule it, but you cannot change the name to your family member's name. It's not possible. So we try and keep announcing in the social media, in our website, do not go and fall prey for agents that are roaming around outside.
They stressed on the need to adopt a layered approach to training through mandatory baseline training.
That's it for the business segment. Up next is sports.
Now, let's bring you sports here on JoyNews Today with me, Muftau Nabila Abla. The Ghana Football Association has announced that Otto Addo is making a return to the senior national team as head coach. According to the football governing body, Otto Addo, who was head of the Black Stars technical team between February 2022 and December 2022, would sign a 34-month contract and head the senior national team until 2027. The football governing body also added that Otto Addo, who is currently a talent scout with Borussia Dortmund, is expected to come in effective May and take over the coaching job. However, the window will be made available for him to come here during the international break and take over the Black Stars. For the two friendly matches, the Black Stars will play against Uganda and Nigeria in Morocco. Otto Addo, we understand, is going to be paid about $50,000 monthly salary. He also has the option of extending his stay as head of the Black Stars technical team until 2029. That is information available to Joy Sports. So 3-year contract and with the option of extending it to 5 years. However, the statement of the GFA say that he's signing a 34-month contract, which means that it will be 2 years and 10 months. The Executive Council of the Ghana Football Association had a meeting on Thursday, and that was where they confirmed the appointment of Otto Addo as the replacement of Chris Hughton. Now, let's take a look at the fixtures for the UEFA Champions League quarter-final. The draw was done a couple of minutes ago, and we'll have Arsenal come up against Bayern Munich. These fixtures are quite familiar if you're a fan of the UEFA Champions League, because you would recall in 2013, Arsenal and Bayern Munich, they were drawn together in the quarter-final of this competition. Atletico Madrid comes at Borussia Dortmund, Real Madrid versus Manchester City. Manchester City knocked Real Madrid out to win the UEFA Champions League last season when they made it to the final and came up against Inter Milan. PSG will also play Barcelona. Many Barcelona fans will not want to be reminded of what transpired in 2020 when these two sides met in the UEFA Champions League. So do follow us on all our platforms as we bring you details of what is happening around the world of sports. That's your sports for now. We do have more sports stories on myjoyonline.com. We appreciate your time.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the Showbiz segment with me, Jacqueline Asamoah. Now, nestled along the coastline of Abanze in Ghana's central region stands a silent garden to centuries of history, Fort Amsterdam. Formerly known as Fort Commantine, it was constructed by the British in 1631. However, as the pages of time turn, its purpose darkened, transforming into a hub for the transatlantic slave trade.
As the morning casts its warm glow over the shores of Abanze, the aged stones of Fort Amsterdam stands as a silent witness to an interesting history. With each step across the weathered grounds, James Akufo, the caretaker of the fort, reveals the main reason why the fort was built.
Amsterdam was built by the British in the year 1631.
Okay.
And it was named Fort Commantine. It is an English word, that Commantine.
Commantine.
It's an
so
English
initially
word.
It wasn't Fort Amsterdam.
But initially it was Fort Amsterdam as at now. Why? Because they had a war with the Dutch. The British had a war with the Dutch in 1638. So through that war, the Dutch collected the fort from the British. And then here they changed the name Fort Commantine to become Fort Amsterdam. Mostly for merchant, not for slavery.
Oh, okay.
So this is the special fort among all the forts we have in the country.
Oh, okay.
And also you can see it is only the fort you can find on the highway.
Indeed, the fort walls holds echoes of a darker past, where the clinking of chains and the anguished cries of the enslaved once pierced the air. James recounts the tales of human suffering and resilience, painting a vivid picture of the atrocities endured within these very walls.
We have reached the condemned cells.
Oh, okay.
This is for the men only. That is what we say, the stubborn slaves.
Oh, okay.
Though they are not stubborn, but because they wanted to free themselves, that's why they call them stubborn. And also they have some juju powers within them.
Which is the slaves?
Yes, some of them.
Oh, okay.
So those people, when they shoot them, the bullet could not penetrate the body.
So they send them here instead?
All right, and when they shoot them with knife also, the knife got burns. This room here, there's no air, there's no light.
Just
even
this?
This is not the original door.
Oh, okay.
The original one was heavy metal.
Wow.
Which covers all this place, and it has just a small hole, and even it has covered in front.
Wow.
So inside there, there's no air, there's no light.
So if you're able to survive for days?
You can't survive. That's why they say condemned cells. They will put you there to die.
Oh, okay. No one came out alive?
Not at all. So let's get inside and see.
This place here. You're obviously going to die.
Have you feel something right now?
I can't breathe.
Just now you can't breathe.
Yeah,
you haven't even closed it.
Even though the door is open, but I can't breathe.
With a nod to the fort's storied past, and a wink towards the possibilities that lies ahead, visitors who troop in depart with their hearts and minds enriched with this journey through time. For Joy News, I am Jacqueline Asamoah.
And that's how we're wrapping up for today's show. My name is Sweetie Abochi. We're back every day at 12 o'clock. See you soon.